The Golden Gate Bridge is a massive, picturesque and breathtaking suspension bridge in California. It links the city of San Francisco with Marin County across the Golden Gate Strait. The city of San Francisco is located at the north end of the San Francisco Peninsula and includes significant stretches of the Pacific Ocean and San Francisco Bay within its boundaries. The city embraces a unique place in the American romantic dream of itself. An elegant, striking, worldly city whose steep streets offer breathtaking views of one of the world's greatest bays. And from the name of strait comes the name of spanning bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge. The bridge has 6 lanes for vehicular traffic and also carries pedestrian and bicycle traffic lanes. It carries both US Route 101 and California State Route 1 or Pacific Coast Highway across the strait. The daily traffic on the bridge is around 110,000 per day. A suspension bridge is a type of bridge in which the deck is hung below suspension cables on vertical suspenders. Suspension bridges incorporate tall towers that, in addition to being aesthetically smart, provide anchor points for draped cables that can span very long distances and carry the load as tension elements. Vertical cables that hang down from the main cables also carry the load as tension elements. Since tension is an extremely effective way to use materials to carry the load, the result is an assembly that is very effective to carry loads over long spans. Suspension bridges are beautiful because they are structurally elegant due to the combination of towers, cables and trusses. For identification, the major structural components of a suspension bridge are towers, decks, main cables, suspender cables, anchorage, truss system, and power foundations. The Golden Gate Bridge has 2 main towers, called North and South Towers, that support the 2 main cables. The height of a tower above water is 746 feet, or approximately 227 meters, and the height of a tower above roadway is 500 feet, or approximately 152 meters. The weight of the roadway is hung from 250 pairs of vertical suspender ropes, which are attached to 2 main cables. The main cables pass over the towers and are fixed in concrete at each end. The bridge is made of steel and has a total length of 8,981 feet, or approximately 2.7 kilometers. The width of the Golden Gate Bridge is 90 feet, or 27.4 meters. At the time of its opening in 1937, it was both the longest and the tallest suspension bridge in the world, with a main span of 4,200 feet, or 1.28 kilometers, and a total height of 746 feet, or 227 meters. Before the bridge was built, the only practical, short route between San Francisco and Marin County was by boat across a section of San Francisco Bay. A ferry service began as early as 1820 and grew much till 1850. It was about a 20-minute ferry ride. Although proposals had been around since the late 19th century, many engineers and architects believed it is impossible to build a bridge over such a long channel with its strong tides, deep waters, and heavy outbursts of wind and fog. It wasn't until 1916 that James Wilkins, a former engineering student, created one of the first feasible proposals for a complicated bridge. James Wilkins' proposal, that eventually took hold, was made in a 1916 San Francisco Bulletin article. Although many shrugged off the idea, engineer and poet Joseph Strauss believed he could pull off the impossible task. San Francisco city engineer estimated the cost of this project at $100 million and was impractical for the time. City engineer asked bridge engineers whether it could be built for less. Strauss's initial drawings were for a massive cantilever on each side of the strait, connected by a central suspension segment, which Strauss promised could be built for only $17 million. With the leads available both on design and feasibility, local authorities agreed to proceed with Strauss, only on the assurance that Strauss would alter the design, based on inputs from several other experts. In revised designs, a suspension bridge was considered as the most practical design, supplemented with recent advances in metallurgy. The final graceful suspension design was conceived and supported by Mr. Leon Massif, the engineer of the Manhattan Bridge in New York City. Resident architect, Mr. Irving Morrow, designed the overall shape of the bridge towers, the lighting scheme, and art decorative elements, such as the tower decorations, streetlights, railing, and walkways. The famous international orange color was Morrow's personal selection, winning out over other possibilities, including the U.S. Navy's suggestion that it be painted with black and yellow stripes to ensure visibility by passing ships. At night, the bridge is floodlit and shines with a golden luminescence that reflects off the waters of the bay and creates a magical effect. Senior engineer Charles Alton Ellis, collaborating remotely with Massif, was the principal engineer of the project. Ellis did much of the technical and theoretical work that built the bridge and produced many volumes of hand calculations. Mr. Strauss spent more than a decade drumming up support in favor of the bridge. The bridge faced massive opposition, including litigations from many sources. The concerns were also raised by the then called Department of War that, in case of any incident, the bridge would interfere with ship traffic. The Navy feared that a ship collision or sabotage to the bridge could block the entrance to harbor and the bay. The good news for the project came in May 1924, when Colonel Herbert D. Kine held the second hearing on the bridge on behalf of the Secretary of War in a request to use federal land for construction. D. Kine, on behalf of the Secretary of War, approved the transfer of land needed for the bridge structure. The project found another ally, the fledgling automobile industry, which supported the development of roads and bridges to increase demand for automobiles. And after surpassing all of these pre-construction challenges, with financial assistance from the Bank of America and massive support from local residents, finally the construction started in 1933. The bridge construction work started on January 5, 1933. The construction ended on April 19, 1937, and the bridge was opened to the public on May 27, 1937. More than 10 years in planning. Due to formidable oppositions, approvals and financial limitations, but only 4 years in actual construction, the Golden Gate Bridge brought the communities of San Francisco and Marin counties closer together. And now, annually the Golden Gate Bridge attracts more than 10 million visitors to witness the breathtaking views. Possibly the most beautiful, certainly the most photographed bridge in the world. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for our motivation and give your valuable comments.